Hey there, everybody. Welcome to this Life Exceeded Q&A, and welcome everybody. Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. And I can see one or two already, so welcome. And we're gonna get started here in just a few minutes. I'm kicking it old school here, people. So I set this up the wrong way, so I'm having to use my old camera, which is up here. So probably what's going to happen is I'm going to keep looking right here where my camera normally is. So if you see me looking in a weird direction, that's why. Because I keep thinking my camera's here when really I have to use the old one and look up there. Courtney, welcome. We're just going to get started. So if you don't know, this is a Life Exceeded Q&A. This is what I do for my membership group every single week. We do this once a week. And basically, we just talk about life, improving life, exceeding your own life, personal development, business, pretty much everything. So if you have any questions, feel free to pop them down below, and we will be talking about those, whatever comes up, really, people. And if you want to know more about this group, by the way, I will be providing links to the group where you can join as well, or you can just ask me questions here as well. But like I said, welcome everybody. Midnight Moon, hello, by the way, and Elizabeth, welcome. Jackie, hello. Judith, welcome as well. Thank you for being here. Like I said, I can't use my other chat as well. Nobody knows what I'm talking about, but I'm gonna have to use this chat just so everybody knows. Like I said, if you see me staring down at the corner, that's why. So welcome. Like I said, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Tracy, hello. Welcome, Mim. What is up? And Rose, hello. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Mom, there you go. The best mom in the world. Mom is here. There you go. Judith, hello. Thank you for being here as well. And Sandy Rose, hello. I thought I said hi to you. Did I not? Welcome, Sandy. And everybody else, welcome. So if you have any questions, like I said, let me know. I didn't really come prepared. Normally for these weeklies, I come prepared with a topic that we can also kind of touch on as well, but not this week. April, hello, by the way. April, thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. And Jackie, hello. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it as well. JC, hello. JC, I'm so glad we could get you in here. Is it, by the way, you know what? It doesn't really matter because there's nothing I can do to fix it using the old streaming way. But I hope the volume. Can everybody hear me, or am I blowing your eardrums out? That's the most important thing. We can kind of like fix that as well. Ninja, hello. And April has been hustling the TikToks, which is good to hear. So that is awesome, April. Only works with Chrome. Yeah, that is so weird, JC. I wish I knew what was going on there. Because, like I said, if it's happening to you, it's probably happening to other people, which is a problem, obviously. Suzette, hello. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Volume is great. That is awesome. Glad to hear it, of course. And sound is good. Perfect. Like I said, you know what? If it wasn't, there wouldn't be anything I could do about it anyway. Sometimes we just have to wing it, right? So that's that. But like I said, for everybody that's jumping in here, I really didn't think we were going to even have very many people on this, but so that's awesome. So thank you everybody for showing up on Mother's Day. But if you don't know, I'm starting a membership, and well, for now, we're calling it Life Exceeded. You know, the name is probably going to change in the future because I don't really like the name, but I don't know. Maybe everybody else likes the name. But basically, we're going to be focusing. This membership is really, really simple. Every single Monday, I'm going to be putting out a training for one improvement that you can make in your life this week, or one thing that has helped me in the past as well. And that's what we're going to be covering. And every single week, we're going to have a Q&A with me for about an hour every single Friday. For now, it's going to be on Friday. That might change. But again, for now, it's going to be every single Friday where you can ask me pretty much anything about life, improving your life, pretty much anything. So if you have any questions, leave them down below. Or if you're trying to get started, the other thing that this group is it's kind of like a lot of people in there are dabblers like me. Like I want to do about 900 things in my life. So if you're a dabbler as well, it's a perfect perfect group for you, because we don't necessarily, the thing is believe it or not, we don't focusing on one thing for too long. I find that people like me who like to dabble really can't focus on one thing for too long of a period of time. So we're kind of going to also, it's a perfect group for people who kind of want to focus but aren't sure what to do. So we're going to be figuring out what you should be doing with your life in this group, hopefully, as well. So that's that. But like I said, anybody who has any questions, leave them down below. I'm probably going to stick around for about an hour or so, somewhere around there. So, and maybe less, depending on whether or not people have questions. But if people don't, then we'll just hang out. So that'll be that. April is such a dabbler. Yeah, I'd like to think of myself as a cross-pollinator of life. April, I love that, by the way. I feel like I think that is probably the best thing that people who are dabblers should do, is more of cross-pollinating, as you say. I feel like that's like the perfect way to put it. Is it's like, I feel like we could all be doing something with our lives just about us, just about all the things we're interested in, just about all the things that we want to do. And, we could have a YouTube channel, a TikTok like April. Everybody should be finding April on TikTok as well. April, feel free to post your TikTok link in here also. I don't have it handy, and I'm going to have to approve your comment, but feel free to pop it in there. And people should follow her on TikTok. Annette, it is amazing so far. I feel like it's going to be more amazing as well. I have a bunch of ideas. See, I'm dabbling. You're going to get to watch me dabble in it while I create this whole membership as well. So that'll be that. I don't advertise for Chris on TikTok. Just tag him. Yeah, thank you, April, by the way, for all the shout outs as well on TikTok. I have been so bad at TikTok. I was so good at TikTok for like 2 weeks maybe, or like a week, and then I've been so bad with keeping up with the TikTok. But I had to get all this set up. I had to do a bunch of videos for this whole thing, and I had to get my weeklies done and all that other stuff. So I couldn't really do it. Jackie says, I do whatever my dreams take me. I feel like you're saying wherever they take you. I like that idea a lot. Judith, what do you want to dabble? Let us know here, Judith. Let's see here. And but like I said, if you have any questions, we do have more people jumping in here, which is nice. Veronica, hello. Chris, I posted a comment above. You talk about just getting, oh, there it is. You talk about things, just getting things done, but with comedy and writing, that often ends with people stealing your work. You know what, JC, people, you could say that about so many different things. JC, you know what I will tell you, like in the tarot community, for example, and, again, I want to stress this. I'm not throwing shade. I feel like this is perfectly fine, but there have been a few readers who, there are very specific meanings that only I have for certain cards, right? And it's like all of a sudden, like I have other people using those meanings for those cards. I don't own the meanings for those cards or anything like that, and I don't worry about it. And again, this is not me throwing shade at those people or anything like that. But what my point is there's nothing you can do about it, right? There's nothing you can do about people taking work. Here's the other thing as well. To me, it's like a lack mentality. Trust me, I used to be just like this, like thinking that people would steal my work and all this other stuff. But you know what I think now is that I have so many ideas, and there are so many things I can come up with, that it doesn't matter. By the time someone steals something that I have, I'm already 10 steps ahead. JC, I come from the marketing world. And the marketing world is extremely competitive. I come from advertising in general, and with advertising, with the type of advertising I was doing, and still do to an extent, people basically look to competitors look to steal your work, and that's just part of the game. And so you're always having to come up with new ideas. So I feel like we need to have like an abundance mindset and realize that we can be coming up with something. I think of Seinfeld, right? JC, he had a rule where he came up with a joke a day, right? He had his calendar where he'd put a red X, and his whole thing was don't break the chain of the red X's on a calendar, and he would come up with new jokes every single day. So I feel like if you want to be a comedian, you're coming up with jokes every single day anyway. So that's what I would do there. I would look at it like you have so many jokes, it doesn't even matter. Veronica says, I hope that helps. What do you suggest for people who just don't know what they truly want to do? Veronica, the funny thing is that like the first training that we're going to be doing starting tomorrow, by the way, for those of you that are interested in the group, I will be posting a link for the group to join the group and in the chat. I'm actually going to post it right now. For founding members, it's only $29 a month, and that's for life. I will be raising the price in the future. And so again, if you want to get in at the lowest price, then definitely join that. But Veronica, I'm doing a whole thing about that tomorrow. And what I would say is that really, I feel like there are a couple things that I would say. Number one, I feel like we do really actually truly know what we want to do, but we could be afraid of a couple things. Number one, judgment from other people, or number two, for example, money, right? So, it's like I always make the joke on the other channel about worm farming, for example. I'm always like saying, I'm always saying, I don't care if you want to have a worm farm, right? There is a way to make money doing it. So I feel like people think like, oh, something that I love to do, I won't be able to make money doing this. But really, if there was ever a time where you could have a business based off a worm farm and you could make probably $1 million, guarantee it would be right now. So I feel like number one, we can kind of come up with things and become very successful on whatever, right? So we have to kind of like remove the judgment from ourselves as well, because I feel like we could be thinking like certain things that maybe we think we want to do. Again, we could be thinking this isn't going to work, or I'm not going to be able to make this work, or whatever. I also feel like it has to do with like we put too much pressure on ourselves as well. Like, as a dabbler myself, Veronica, I feel like one of the things that has always stopped me is like wanting to get started, but like thinking in my head that it needs to be perfect. And so I feel like we just have to just get started on something. And we just have to try it. We can't know unless we try. So, and it's funny because I said to April a few weeks ago, or I mean, earlier in the week, that was not a few weeks ago. I'm losing my sense of time. So I said to April like a couple days ago, I feel like what we should probably do, and what has helped me as someone who is a dabbler, is breaking things down into 3-month chunks. So it's like there are definitely a bunch of things I want to do, right? And so what I did to figure this out is I'd like try something for 3 months and really give it a good effort and not work on anything else. The problem with being a dabbler is I feel like we're also, us dabblers, us jack of all trades people, is that we're also multitaskers. I feel like some of us can multitask, but there's a lot of science that says basically if you're a multitasker, you don't get anything done, right? So what I would say is focus on one thing for 3 months, try to make it work, and give it everything you got. And if it doesn't work, then move on to the next thing. And the thing is I feel like the problem and the challenge for people like us is that, again, we never get anything done by the end of a year. So at least if we break it down into 3 months, then at least we're trying like 4 things a year. If I just did this like years ago, I would have been able to try probably, like 20 things by now. And I'd probably have something else, or, I could be doing something else that's actually working. So that's what I would say there. The other thing is it allows you to realize like if something sucks, if you don't truly want to be doing something. Not to keep babbling on about this as well, but I feel like the problem for people who are also dabblers as well is kind of like thinking that things need to work a certain way as well. But also, no comparing yourself. I find that people who dabble like us compare themselves to other people way too much, right? We could be like wanting to start a business, or we could be wanting to work on a project, and we could see other people who do it, and maybe it works a certain way, and we try to get it to work that way, and it doesn't work. So we have to kind of like come up with our own way of getting something to work as well. So that's what I would say there. But that's that. All right. I wasn't paying attention to questions, so I didn't even see if anybody else has any questions in here. Yeah, you're good when somebody's stealing your video. That's the other thing as well. To me, when somebody's stealing your stuff, that's like the best. That's when you're good, right? So, that's what I would say there. Veronica, thank you. I mean, I feel like there's a lot there. I mean, there's so many things that you could do. Like a lot of people, here I am teaching people to do something based off of their passion, or like I'm a big believer in passion-based businesses, but I also think people should be very careful about passion-based businesses as well. Like, for example, I love cooking, right? But it's definitely a passion of mine. But at the same time, I don't think I was almost a chef, right? And among a million other things. But I think if I did it for a living, it would probably ruin it. So, a lot of people say, "Oh, start a passion-based business," but it's like, really, should you start something based off of passion, or should you start something based off of interest? I truly think that really one of the best things you can do is start a business or start a YouTube channel or start something based off of something that you're learning about. So, I call it active learning, and I don't know who to give credit to for this because I heard about this probably like 6 years ago, 7 years ago now. It was a long time ago, and somebody I think it's called active learning, but it's basically where you document your process about based off of something that you're learning about or something that you're trying to improve in your life, like a hobby or a business or whatever. And it's like you document the process and you share it with other people. It's a great way to get started. Like JC, being afraid of her jokes getting stolen, which I totally understand, but she could document the process of creating jokes, of like what she thinks is funny and all this other stuff. And, years from now, people could look back, and this is like a Gary Vee thing. And it's one of the things I agree with him on. It's like in years from now, people will look back on this in the future and be like, wow, look how far JC has come. She's actually funny now, right? That was not a burn, JC, by the way. JC is very funny for people who do not know. Karen, just what you said, you don't know if you don't try. Exactly. Trying to start a concession stand at a beach that they closed down with the virus, but my gut says go for it. Exactly, Karen. I would just go for it and just see what happens. Here's the other thing as well that I think nobody ever really talks about either. Is it's like half the time we start something and it just turns into something else. Like I feel like so many businesses started as something else before they became famous or before they became what they are intended to be used for. So it's like you never know how starting one thing could lead to something else that you're actually truly supposed to be doing. I think frequently, I mean, just go to any big YouTube channel out there, go to the start of their channel. None of those big people are doing what they originally started doing, right? They're all doing something different. So it's like you have to kind of like go through the process. And that's what I would say there. I have a lot of passions, but if I try to follow, I would dilute my time and take away from focus on just one main project. I mean, the other thing is, JC, is that you could use that main project to talk about your passions as well. Like you could make a lot of jokes about all the things you're interested in, right? So it's like there are ways we could mix all the things we're interested in together, you know? Exactly. Like April says, Gary Vee says, document, don't create, which I think is definitely one of the best possible things to do. So totally agree. Maria, hello, Maria. By the way, you say what you described is who I am. I have so many interests and ideas, and it's hard to stay on one thing. Yeah, totally. It is hard as someone again who has a hard time going sticking to one thing. I totally agree, and I think we are probably. I'm gonna write this down because I feel like it's a very important thing to focus on. But I do feel like we need to kind of like you know stick to one thing for a certain period of time. Maria, why do you think you don't stick to things? Like what pulls you away from something is what I'm curious about. I'm actually curious. Everybody answer this question because I want to know if you are a dabbler, if you work on so many different projects, different businesses. What do you think it is that pulls you away from the project? And I'm gonna take a sip of coffee. Elizabeth says, "What if you're camera shy?" Number one, what I would say is, number one, you could get over it, right? That's the easiest way. And it's really not that bad, trust me. And I used to be way worse on camera, like a long time ago. I feel so. Number one, that's one option. Number two, you don't have to show your face, right? Number three, you could do a podcast, or you could just do something else that you want to do. But what is the fear, Elizabeth? Midnight Moon, exactly. Midnight Moon says, new curiosity. I love to learn. I feel like that's what it is for me personally as well. I love to learn, so that's why I always get pulled off into like different projects, different things that I want to work on. And it's hard. And number one, I also love starting things, so I like the beginning process. So I feel like that's a problem. You could say that it's a problem, but maybe if you're a dabbler, you enjoy the beginning process. You know, that could be literally your thing, helping people get started. That's literally what I'm doing is helping people get started on things that they want to start. And that's my favorite part of the process, the beginning. Um, so that's that. Maria says, too many interests. I love crafts, real estate, finance. I can't focus. I would say, you know, I feel like the other thing is I'm not a big person when it comes to goals. I think, you know, I don't really feel like we all need goals and all this other stuff. But what I would say is I think we need to kind of like imagine what we want our future life to look like. We have to like work backwards from that process or from that place, right? Where you have all these interests, but we have to work backward and say, okay, like in the future, I want my life to look like, you know, X, Y, and Z. Like which one of those things fits in, or which one of those things will help you get to your future life? You know, that's a very boiled down short version of, you know, a lot more that I could say about that, but feel free to ask questions. Anne says, how do you get motivated? Lazy, I think. I'm very lazy, and I feel like really, again, I'm a rip the band-aid off type of person. Like, for example, the other day, I was trying to shoot my videos for the channel, and I was really tired. But then I just started. I feel like sometimes we just have to get started, right? I know that's not a great answer, but I just said to myself, I'm just going to do one video. I feel like that's the other thing that I do a lot as well, as I make fake agreements with myself. I lie to myself as well. I say to myself, okay, I just need to do one video today. If I just get one video done, then I'll be all set. Guess what? On that day, I did all 12 signs. I got all 12 videos done. And so I feel like we just have to get started. And again, I didn't even want to do videos that day. So I feel like if we just make an agreement, just say, all I have to do is one. If I just get that one thing done, I'll be all set. Then, you know, we can, that can help. Maurice says, what if your social skills are lousy? Maurice, you reminded me of something, by the way. So let me just write this down. But Maurice, what I would say is because I want to do a whole bunch of videos on social skills and things like that, but I feel like you have to start at the smallest place possible. There's actually there are some videos on YouTube. It's by a company called Real Social Dynamics. It's they are basically, it's a group of pickup artists. I'm not interested in pickup or anything like that. And again, I would not suggest anybody necessarily get into pickup artistry or anything like that, right? But the thing that I really like about their training and about their videos in general is that their videos are amazing for just social skills in general. And I feel like even though their videos are about picking up, you know, pick up artist stuff, you know, I feel like the skills are very applicable for social skills and for learning how to become more social, learning how to talk to people, learning how to deal with people and all this other stuff. I feel like for me, social skills, we have to start very, very small. I'm extremely antisocial, which nobody realizes. And yeah, like I don't really go out in public all the time, and I could be way, way better dealing with people in public, like my neighbors and things like that. I never talk to my neighbors or anything like that. But what I would say is like start small. One of the tricks that they teach there, Maurice, is as far as social skills are concerned, is it's like you have to start small. So for example, it's like maybe you're walking around and maybe you just start saying hi to every single person that you see. That's it. And you don't continue the conversation or anything. You just say hi, right? And that will kind of get you out of your comfort zone. The next step would be maybe you start complimenting every single person that you walk by as well. And so that's like the next step. And then maybe after that, you say, hi, how are you today? And you start a conversation with people. It's like you have to kind of build up in a slow way. People are scary. I totally understand, Maurice. I am right there with you. No doubt about it. But I want to do a whole thing about it. JC, I'm not skipping anyone. I'm trying to, it's hard for me to keep up with these chats in here. I'm not sure which ones I'm skipping. Melissa, I get frustrated or bored if it doesn't bear any fruit for my efforts relatively quickly. I lose interest quickly if it doesn't begin to take off in the direction and way I was envisioning. Yeah, I understand that as well. I do feel like we have to have like realistic expectations. Again, I feel like this goes back to what I was saying with the back to what I was saying with um, kind of needing to get started and also not needing to make sure that you don't compare yourself to other people, because I feel like, usually that happens when we are comparing ourselves to other people and we're like, oh, well, they were this successful in a shorter period of time. So I feel like we have to, number one, set realistic expectations. And again, kind of like I just said to Maurice, like what I try to do is try to break it down to the smallest thing possible. The other thing is, if you're not seeing results like very quickly, sometimes we just have to change what we're doing. So I feel like sometimes, I don't know if anybody has ever seen that meme, or that picture that's going around where it's like, it's a guy, he's digging towards a bunch of gems, right? And he's like this close to getting to this pile of diamonds. And then, but he's turning around, he's walking away. It's like he gave up right before he was successful. So I feel like we need to kind of like get to the end and then just push it just a little bit more. And that's usually where we will find success, like just pushing it just a little bit more towards the end. But I also feel like no expectations, right? We have to kind of remove expectations and keep trying. Uh, uh, Rose, yeah, Rose says a good point too. Says social media can be a harsh world. That scares me. That people would harass, etc. You just have to ignore it. I ignore it. If you go to some of my videos, I have a ton of like negative comments on my videos. Everything. I just don't pay attention to it. I know it's easier said than done, but you just have to realize that they're sad people who leave negative comments like that. Courtney, trying to narrow down my niche for life coaching as I have an abundance of life experience. Any advice for getting clarity? Thinking about just jumping in and figuring it out after course completion. That's exactly what I would do. I would just jump right in. That's what I am doing with this group. I would just jump right in and see what you're best at. The other thing is, I think as far as life coaching is concerned, I would just coach someone for free and see like what you are best able to help that person with, because you never know. You might think it's one thing. You might think it's like motivating people, but maybe it's actually something else. So I would just like do it or do it for free for a friend or something and see what's best. I posted that what pulls me is financial and health tsunamis. Yeah. That is definitely an obstacle for sure. Yeah, that's I'm not sure. Is that a question, JC? What is your question? Lizzie is a local business. Lizzie posted this and said, a local business asked me to do Facebook posts for them. How do you determine price? Lizzie, I used to actually do marketing work like this. And, I don't even know what the going rate is, but I would just try to figure out what your time is worth for that business. And then I would work backwards from there. I mean, it's kind of hard to say. So, like I said, I don't know what the industry prices are anymore for doing for posting on Facebook and things like that for someone. But I would try to figure out how long it's going to take you, figure out what your hourly rate would be, and then quote them a price based off of that. Something along those lines as well. But it's like, how many times are you going to be posting a day? How many times are you going to be posting a week or whatever? How much business are you going to bring them? Do the posts actually bring them business? There's a lot that goes into it. But Lizzie, let me know. Courtney, thank you. Really appreciate it. You ask what pulls us away. Got it, JC. That's right. I was asking what pulls people away from the things that you're working on. JC says financial and health. That is very good, is what I'd say there. So we are going to talk about that as well. But JC, yeah, financial is definitely like the hardest. I think that also, but I mean, really, we can get started on pretty much anything for free. I mean, literally anybody in here can ask me, can give me a business, and I can give you a million ways you could get started for free without having to pay anybody any money or anything, any money. And April says you can search YouTube for pricing standards. There are some great videos about it. Absolutely. Lizzie, I definitely feel like that's great, great advice. Maria, how do you stay motivated? I love starting new things and learning obsessively about it, and then I lose interest. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I just try to, I would say that what I'm doing here right now is probably the best thing I've ever done because it kind of like, I think we have to look at our life and look at things that we already do and like how it fits or how it can fit into us creating a business or a YouTube channel or whatever it is that we're wanting to start. So, like, for example, the reason I started this is because I listen to books pretty much all day long on Audible, and I love learning about self-improvement. I've been through a lot in my little life. I know I seem young, but I'm like 900 years old, basically. So I've been through a lot. I've had a lot of experiences that I can share from. And like I said, I've learned just a ton. I'm basically a sponge for information when it comes to, training, personal development, things like that. So, and not only that, I actually use the information as well. I feel like a lot of people, that's the other thing is that I would say if you're like learning things, use the information because it allows you to provide like real life experience. I mean, I could give so much information based off of these books, but I've actually, like I said, used the information based off of books and used the information based off of what I've learned. And so I have like extra information. So, to me, that's what I would do. And so that's what I'd say to you, Maria. I feel like you need to look at what you already do because then it doesn't require motivation. Like this doesn't require any motivation for me because I would be doing it anyway. I'd be talking. I want to talk about it anyway. So I feel like that's the easiest way to do it. Veronica says children pull me away. Single mom. That is definitely, children definitely difficult to, get things done for sure. AZ, to answer your question, I would just Google whatever the numbers are. Again, I'm probably the wrong person to ask about this, AZ, because I'm not big on numerology or anything like that. But I would just Google the number you're seeing, and I know there are sites out there that are really good. April, you say, what's your best advice for getting started on YouTube? Daily posting, weekly scripted videos. Are they supposed to be certain lengths, like cooking type of videos? So my best advice, number one, of course, is to just get started, to just put videos out. I wouldn't care. I don't think it matters scripting, not scripting. For me, like on this channel, for the videos I have on this channel, I feel like they're too stiff and they are scripted videos. I'm not the best with doing a script, but I do feel like scripting definitely helps. I like to do just bullet points and like what I'm going to talk about in the videos. I feel like also daily posting, just so everybody knows, is not where it's at anymore. YouTube used to reward daily posting, but now I feel like it's better because of the way the algorithm works and everything like that. I feel like it's better to probably post every other day. I mean, if you can post a video every single day that people will watch for a long period of time, then I definitely feel like that is more worth it. And so, if you can do that every single day consistently, then do it. But if you're better off doing, 3 days a week, 1 day a week, then, that's what I would focus on there. Are they supposed to be a certain length? A lot of people say that, they're supposed to be over 10 minutes or they're supposed to be 16 minutes and like all of this other stuff, right? But it's like there are people like David Dobrik, who's huge on YouTube, and he has like 16 million subscribers or something like that. And all his videos are like 4 minutes and something seconds long. They're all the same length and they're all 4 minutes long. So it's like you could say that there are all these rules on YouTube for posting length, for example, but there are tons of people who break those rules. There are people that have videos that are hours long that also have a ton of traffic. The problem with going too long is getting people to watch the whole video. So it's like if they don't, people, YouTube doesn't recommend it. So that's what I'd say there. But one thing I think people do is they just post a video. I would not just, to me, I would not just post a video. I think the best thing you could do is try to focus on it. I also feel like the best advice I've ever received for YouTube is going out, looking at your competitors. Really, I don't think there really are competitors on YouTube, but trying to find the most popular videos that other people have done that are in your niche, and then doing a better version. So what I would say there is I would also do long. So that's the only place where I feel like length matters, is what I'd say to you, April. Is like, if someone has a video about a certain topic that you're going to do a video on, I would try to make it better, and I would try to make it a little bit longer as well. Because if there's like a video that has 1 million views, for example, and you create a similar video with your own advice, again, we're not copying people here, and you make it longer and people watch it for longer, then your video is going to get recommended more. So I feel like that's the best advice that for YouTube, really, right now, especially. I feel like there are people who grow very, very quickly, and that's what they do. They just try to create better versions of other people's videos. And again, you're not copying; you're putting in your own advice, of course. So that's that. So that looks good. All right. Who did I? Karen. Hey, Karen is awake. Karen, hello. Welcome, Karen. Thank you for being here. I hope you're doing well. Did I answer all of April? I was babbling, so I don't know if I answered all of April's question there or not. I'm not sure, but maybe. Yeah, the other thing, April, too, is like I like to, I pretty much, because I just do readings. I don't, I don't have to do, specific videos. But what I would do also, and I plan to do for this channel, is going to people's comments, because if you go to people's comments on the most popular videos as well, a lot of times you'll see in the comments things that are missing. Like, people will have a specific question, or there might be some sort of like glaring mistake that you could correct. So that's what I would be looking into if I were kind of starting a new channel. Well, I am, but that's what I'd be looking into for sure. All right. And if anybody else has questions about anything, definitely post them in down below. Again, for people that have been hopping in here, I've been really bad about posting my link, but let me get the link because I lost it. but this is for my new membership. If you want to join the membership, we're doing this every single week. We're doing a Q&A in the membership, and there will be training every single Monday as well. Short trainings, short actions that you can take that will hopefully improve your life or get you started, all that other stuff. But if you want to join, here it is. This is for founding members, and it's $29 a month. The price will be increasing, but for you can get in for life at the $29 a month if you would like to. But that is the link there. I actually hope that that link is working. It does look like it's working, but that's that. All right. So that's that. Judith, what are you talking about as far as tech skills are concerned? Definitely let me know, and I will answer. Judith, what are you looking to start? And I would say really no tech skills. I talked about this last week as well, that, to me, I was saying that how YouTube, for example, Judith, and this doesn't just have to do with YouTube. This is everything. YouTube, for example, got to a place where it used to be just like kids with their cell phones shooting videos, or their crappy cameras, right? The videos never looked very good. That was part of the charm of YouTube. And then it became like overly produced, where everybody is like got production value and production, has like directors, like movie quality stuff on YouTube. But the interesting thing is like within the last year or so, a lot of the newer, more popular people are back to shooting their videos on this right here. And there isn't any production value. It's like more raw. It's more like real. So I feel like that's more valuable at this time. I'm non-tech for been on the internet. Got it, Judith. But yeah, that's what I would say there. So that's that. JC, we will be using Zoom. Yes. Link is working. Thank you, everybody. April and Dad. Hello, by the way. Thank you. We will be. I'm glad it is working. That is good. The iPhone is awesome. The iPhone is better. Even I have an iPhone 7, which is like, I don't know, 3 iPhones ago or whatever. The camera on this is better than anything that anybody was using when YouTube first came out. So it's like the technology we have today is 1,000 times better than it was, 10 years ago, of course. So you can still create awesome videos with just that. And all right, I will take a few more questions here, people, if people have questions. And if not, I will be taking off, and I'll probably see everybody later as well, of course. But if you have any questions, let me know. And let's see. Gregory, welcome, Gregory. Thank you for being here. And misbehaving, hello. I saw your comment the other day. I think you were missing, but welcome back. JC, what are you referring to? There is April. There is a lesson coming out tomorrow for in the group. So yes, there is a lesson coming out tomorrow. It is top secret, but it is all about getting started and kind of like focusing your first ideas. It's very exciting. Maurice, thank you, and thank you for the kind words. Really appreciate it. iPhone is good video, but don't you use a separate mic? You can't. You can use. There are plenty of people who just use the microphone on this. Like I said in the last live, I have these cheap lav mics. This right here plugs into your iPhone. Well, actually, the new iPhones come with a dongle. They have to plug into the bottom of this. But this right here, I got 2 of these for $14. So for $14, you can get a little lav mic like this, and you can plug it in and just strap it to your chest, and you're good to go. It's not amazing quality, but it's definitely a lot better than just the microphone on this. Sounds a lot better as well. Those are the Amazon Basics lav mic. The lav mic I use to record my weeklies is like $100, a lot more expensive, but those work just fine. I have those as backups if my other one ever breaks. Let's see. Maria, you say, I wanted to tell you I started watching you because you were relatable and you did something different, which at the time was reading playing cards. Also, your tone is very soothing. Thank you, Maria, for the kind words. I really appreciate it. Of course. Don't you use a separate mic? Oh yeah, I answered that. Yeah. And JC, I like now. Here's the thing. Like I didn't start with this expensive microphone. And now I use a DSLR camera. So I use an actual camera for doing the daily readings and all that other stuff. I didn't start there. I started with this camera right here. I have had this camera for years. I had it since before I even started the Minopon channel. So I've been using this camera for, I don't know, like 10 years, something like that, something crazy. I looked it up like a while ago when I ordered that camera. It was a long time ago. And I also started with a cheap mic as well. So it doesn't have to be perfect. Where will we get the assignments? All the assignments will be put in the Monday weeklies will be in the members area on the website. I'll also be posting a link, of course, in the Facebook group as well. So there will be a link to that in the Facebook group. So I'll be posting everywhere. And so that's where those will be. But I think I'm going to end it here. So again, if anybody has any questions about the membership as well, definitely I'll give a couple of minutes. And so post your questions down below if you have any questions about it, or if you're interested, let me know. Again, I will post a link here. Again, this is a founding members link. So it's for $29 a month for life. And the price will be going up. I was going to close this on Monday, but a few people wanted me to wait. So I'm going to wait probably until next Monday, whatever that is. Not the 11th, not tomorrow. The 18th is that date. So I'm probably going to close it down to the founding members on Monday, the 18th. So that'll be that. But if you have any questions, let me know about that as well. But are using a camera, not iPhone now. But I get it. Okay, got it. I was very confused, JC. But now I got it, JC. All right. And thank you, and thank you for joining as well. I see that you joined. And April, have a good day. Thank you for being here as well. Really appreciate it. So there you go. Melissa, thank you for joining as well. Really appreciate it. Shared sentience. Hello. I can't speak today. I have a fat tongue. Haven't I talked about this? I was born with a fat tongue, I think, and so it affects the way I speak. But all right. Thank you everybody for being here. I don't see any more questions. We will probably do this again. So definitely keep an eye out. But thank you everybody for being here and definitely enjoy the rest of your day.